Right now, more than ever, every economist is trying to predict this market crash or this bubble burst. Literally every economist. They say it's coming next week. They say it's coming next year, the next 6 days. And guess what? None of that matters. It's going to happen. But when doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you understand that we are in a transition. In this episode, I'm actually going to do something very special for you. It is a compilation episode. I've been educating you about how to spot this transition so that when this bubble burst or this market crash happens, it doesn't even matter to you. In this compilation, I'm going to pull the most important clips so that you can understand what's happening with the market, this transition, and this wealth transfer, so you can have actionable items about what you can do so that it doesn't even matter when the bubble bursts or the market crash. You're going to be good, and that wealth is going to transfer directly into your hands. So enjoy this compilation, pay attention, take notes, and focus on making sure that you are on the right side of the transfer. Y'all know the drill. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Make sure you consult with a financial professional. All investments take on a risk of loss of your money. Don't you ever forget that. Make sure you do your own research and your own due diligence. And with that being said, enjoy. Inflation can go down, but not deflation.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes. So you got to understand how it's reported, right? It's basically saying how much did the price of things of the previous term go up. So we are comfortable with 2%. That means things went up 2%. So if it goes from 20% to 2%, that's not deflation. But if you want to correct, like, all right, we went up 50% during 18 months. We got to correct this. In order to truly correct it, you have to have deflation. It's got to go back down. Deflation is a problem. The best we can hope for is, and this is what this term that they was throwing around, is this idea of a soft landing, right? In order to correct this, there would have needed to be deflation, which then leads to a recession or depression. Okay? Deflation will lead to a recession or depression. So in order to calm these home prices down, we call it a soft landing. That's what they was trying to do. We need a soft landing because in today's economy, because we live in this geopolitical economy, right? It's not capitalism, it's geopolitical economy. Recessions or depressions are illegal. Because if a recession or depression happens on your watch, guess what? Everyone hates you. But it's natural. So the only thing that we can do, and this has become a political trend or a policy trend, the only thing that is an option for us is to have these soft landings, which is going to be a problem at some point. What happens when we do have a recession or depression? Again, they're natural cycles. Now, whoever's in charge is the devil. Oh my God, we had a recession. No, they happen. They have to happen. So what they're trying to do, what they have been successfully doing, is creating these soft landings. These soft landings require a management of rates, right? So, hey, let's lower rates so that we can tame the inflation, not have a deflate. The price is not going to go back. We need to have a deflation. We have to tame it. Okay, so now instead of going up 20%, we can only go up 2%. Okay? Because we can't have it go back. Because if we have it go back, everybody, I don't know, it's the worst thing in the world. But managed systems don't eliminate risk. They just move it elsewhere. What I want you to see is private credit is a shadow banking system in which large corporations can operate. During this time period, private credit exploded. Like literally the money went out of your hands and directly into these private credit funds. And guess what they are financing?
I don't know. What?
25 up to 25% of it is financing tech and AI.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a story came out about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago, on the Wall Street Journal, which said that, hey, these private credit companies, they're saying their exposure to tech and AI is much lower than what it is, because if you have a tech business that's service is another industry. Instead of classifying it as a tech business, they're classifying it as that other industry. So let's say, for instance, you had a tech idea for the trucking business. And so let's say you got financing from a private credit business, and what they would do is they would classify it as a trucking business versus a technology business, which is what it is. Okay? Thus making everybody seem like the exposure is not so AI or tech heavy. A couple of things I want to talk about before we move on with private credit about this whole shadow banking industry. It's a huge problem because, number one, the private credit businesses are investing in each other, and thus they're also insured. And guess who supports the insurance businesses? Private equity. Private credit is financing private equity. Private equity is being insured, or these loans are being insured by the insurance business, and it's being supported by private equity. It's just a huge ball of nonsense. And you already know how I feel about there's an insurance crisis as well. We'll get into that later. But it's just a huge ball of nonsense that is eventually going to be a very huge problem. But the biggest problem that it has right now is it's heavily invested in tech and AI. So this means all of that stimulus money, not all of it, but a majority of the stimulus money that the government pumped into the economy.
Let's not even say stimulus money. Let's just say liquidity that they pumped in. Majority of the liquidity that was out there.
I'm weighing the difference of why I want to say the stimulus money versus the liquidity. I don't know. Stimulus money feels a little more comfortable to me. Let me tell you why I don't want to say liquidity. I don't want to say liquidity because liquidity is all about the flow of currency. You can have liquidity if money is moving, a little bit amount of money is moving very fast through the system. Okay?
Which it did, but it didn't, which is the weirdest part about it.
It did at first, very quickly, within a year, went from the government to the consumer to private credit.
Rapidly.
Very rapidly. So that's liquidity, because also those private credit companies is also lending to local and small businesses, some of it, not all of it, private equity, so on and so forth, and then it's coming back around. As long as it's moving very rapidly, could be a little bit of money. As long as it's moving very rapidly, you can also have more money come in, and then people put it in their pockets. That's illiquid. Liquidity is all about acceleration of money, so that's why I don't want to equate it to them pumping the money in.
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you. Okay. What I'm saying is the liquidity happened. It happened very rapidly, and it dried up just as fast.
It dried up just as fast.
Yeah, that's my whole.
Okay, but the moral of the story is the money went from the government in some kind of way, landed into funding AI. Not some kind of way, but it ended up going into funding AI. Here's the bad thing about AI. Number one, the U.S., all of our economy's eggs is in this basket. So in order, especially on the Epsteinian and ivory tower level, in order for them to win, AI has to win. Because 40% of the S&P 500 is in tech stocks. Is that the number? It's 40%, right?
What percentage of S&P is tech as of 4/7/2026? 33.63%.
Okay. 33.
And the magnificent seven concentration alone accounts for 32.5% of the total index.
Okay. 33% of the S&P 500 is in AI. A Wall Street Journal report just came out and said 25% of private equity is invested in tech and AI. So our whole entire, on top of the fact that, let's not forget, we got a lot of eggs in the basket with crypto too. That's a U.S. thing. That's that we done decided that this is our industry. Okay. The entire U.S. economy, from an ivory tower and Obsidian, and obviously it's going to trickle down, is all hinging on the success of AI, even if it means millions of you losing your job. So the Obsidians are literally saying to you in your faces, hey, AI has got to do its thing. We don't care if you can't feed your family. We don't care.
Yeah, they literally said it recently.
Your faces, all of them.
That company that sent out what, 30, did you see that? 30,000 emails?
All of them. Sorry, I know you want to, all of them, because every single CEO have said something. I'm going to go to this and have said something like, now this is where I want to get to the perception of controlling your reality. So I just linked everything for you. Linked it all. Okay? So because the whole economy is hinged on that, now they are going on all the podcasts. I guarantee you, if we dug deep and figured this out, they had a meeting and we was like, okay, y'all all gonna go to podcasts. This is going to be the messaging. All go on podcasts and try to convince you that in the future you're not going to be able to live without AI. I literally saw, I'm pretty sure that it was your boy, Elon, say, yeah, if I were you, I would not study to be a doctor, because in the future AI is going to do all the surgeries and
it was
be doctor.
He said it. I saw when he said it. Yeah.
Yo, I wanted to jump through that screen and drop.
No.
So just real quick, me and Brandon had a whole conversation. I like quiet luxury. I love these shoes, but I sold almost all my red bottoms for the exception of this one. So I'm not trying to brag about the fact that I got red bottoms on. Just so happened to convince that was the first thing I really wanted to do.
Yeah, drop kick.
Because why would you say that? Why would you say that? So he's relying on a dark ages of humanity to further this AI thing, because America put all its chips in the basket. And so they're going to try to continue to convince you that you need it. The worst that I've seen in this whole thing is social media. I'm so glad this was over. For a good 3-4 months, you go on your timeline, all you saw was AI.
Yeah.
AI influencers. I just out of spite, I'm scrolling past it. Like, I don't want the algorithm to think I like this. This is awful. I don't care. Put your camera on, put your lip gloss on, make video. And then there, all the people, like some of the people in my space, I got my AI stunt twin, and the AI twin is sitting there just like this. And so this is what you're going to do if back to
the illusion.
And I'm glad people was like, no, we don't want this. Because we need you relying on it. We don't even want you making your own content. That's crazy. And so all of them are saying things like, I think Sam Altman was like, he just had a baby, or he adopted a baby. I don't know how to, because, he's not straight. So I don't know how he had a baby. I don't know either.
I don't know.
But he has a new child.
Okay.
Okay. And so that he says on the thing, he says, I would never raise a child without AI. Guess what? Humans been doing it for 200,000 years at least. Based on what y'all scientists is telling us, that this version of Homo sapien been around for 200,000 years. Not to mention the other Homo erectus, the other species, they had babies the same way too.
Without the AI.
Without AI. So they're going to convince you that you can't do basic stuff like write an email. You can't survive without AI because they've put all the eggs in the basket. So they're going to continue to create an illusion for you through economic indicators, stock market numbers, All of it is an illusion. Y'all say, I asked y'all a while ago on multiple places, do y'all think that the economic indicators are fudged or not? And not almost all of y'all, I got a lot of comments. It was like, no, we don't believe the numbers. They lying. That's not what unemployment is. That's not what the GDP is. That's not what inflation is. You don't believe them. Okay. Here's the other thing about why the numbers are fudged, or that would support the argument that the numbers are fudged. Okay, just real quick, y'all. We do all of this. I like to have this be my original idea, so I don't rely at all, pretty much, on AI. But what I do is take the transcript and I run it through AI and do a fact check, just to make sure we're not saying nothing stupid. There's been a couple times where you and me, Ben is like, no, that number.
That was that Blue Owl. That was a Blue Owl.
We had a whole argument about Blue Owl's numbers, and I'm like, Brandon, look at Blue Owl's numbers. So that's neither here nor there. And so I already know when I make strong statements based on conspiracy, be like, you said this, and that's not true. Mind your business. I leave in what I want to leave in. Okay? Mind your business. Telling you right now.
That part.
Okay. Here is the other thing about why there are incentives. If you do believe that they do fudge the economic indicators, why they are incentivized to do it? Because this wasn't always like this. Because the health of the economy is politicized. And it wasn't always like this from a granular, like down to a term, right? And so like, hey, doesn't matter what the previous person did when they were in office. As soon as you step in place, if you don't fix the thing on day one, that's on your dime. Okay? And while risk moves quietly through the system, everyday people still feel the pressure in real time. But I'm going to give you all one thing to clarify and make it so that it's not confusing. I'm going to give you one economic indicator. Because guess what? All the economic indicators, this is another thing. All the economic indicators are either skewed. Y'all be saying it in the comments. I don't got to say it. I believe it though. But like these numbers be super fudged.
Yeah.
A lot of them are estimates. So it's not based on real data. So this economic indicator that I'm going to give you is the only one, like you can tell everything you need to tell about the U.S. economy. Home affordability.
Okay.
Right now, while we have chaos and volatility, home affordability, can people afford homes, and who can afford homes, will tell you everything you need to know about the market. Because GDP can be fudged. Unemployment can be fudged. Home affordability cannot be fudged. Inside of home affordability, it touches on every single solitary thing in the market. Everything. Everything in real time, though. It's a real-time lie detector test. Okay?
Walk me through that.
I'm going to walk you through it.
Okay.
So there are about 7 or 8 things that are typically really important to the economy. There's no other sector that touches on everything the way that home affordability does. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of them. This is massively important. Okay? Home affordability is affected by rates/inflation.
Okay.
That's pretty self-explanatory, right? People need mortgages. I mean, it's just multiple ways, but like people need mortgages to get homes. Rates determine their mortgage. Inflation determines where rates go. All the things. Y'all already know this. Y'all know that rates affect the housing market. That's the number one thing that the Fed does to get the most bang for their buck in terms of taming inflation, is setting rates. All right? We already know that, right? We're on the same page there, right? Okay.
And then I asked you that question earlier about the effects of rates on mortgages and things like that. So you answered that, which was pretty much kind of what I asked you off camera earlier, because I asked you if rates remain elevated, what does that do for the value of what you could get a home at?
Okay. So if typically rates are elevated because inflation is high. So if inflation is high, that is what the Fed will do to tame inflation, is raise rates. Right?
Right.
So they make money more expensive, essentially tightening from a indirect way, tightening money supply. So
Right.
Fed funds rate is the overnight rate at which banks lend money to cover things like car loans, business loans, all the things, right? And so when they raise rate, that controls the money supply, indirectly controls the money supply. When they raise rates, they get the most bang for their buck with housing, because 40% of inflation, it changes, but around about 40% of inflation is housing. And so if they say, hey, we're going to raise rates, that means that it'll have an inverse effect on housing prices.
Right.
So if mortgages are more, builders will have to people will have to sell properties less so that people can afford it.
Right. So
to make home values go, if they wanted home values to go down, because they get the most bang for their buck in that basket of goods that goes into inflation.
But then if they cut the rates, then that opens a door opportunity for more people
to buy homes,
to buy in,
right?
Which causes the value to skyrocket, which causes.
Well, I want to say it doesn't cause it to skyrocket, but it gives them a little bit more pricing wiggle room.
Well, essentially causes for higher inflation, though.
No. You're taming inflation with it. You don't want high inflation. Like, inflation is healthy. The Fed has said multiple times at 2%. You never want high inflation. You don't say, oh, we need inflation, so we're going to lower rates. No, it's like, oh, the economy is doing well. Inflation is steady, so we can lower rates. So now we can decrease the cost of lending. And this allows for room for appreciation to happen. Okay?
So does that also affect the cost of labor? Because I know you said the cost of lending.
Great question. That's a great segue into the next one. Home affordability is affected by the cost of labor and the cost of materials. Okay? Labor and materials directly is affected by the oil crisis, supply crisis, all of that. Okay, private credit as well, because guess what? Private credit supports labor and materials. Okay, materials, shipping. We got an issue in the Strait of Hormuz. Guess what? Energy is needed to convert those raw materials that go into the homes. Okay, so in the cost of a home, labor and material is a big portion of it. Here's the other thing too. I forgot the other crisis that we got. We have a ICE crisis.
ICE?
Deportation.
Oh, ICE. Okay, ICE. Yeah. Immigration?
Yes.
Okay.
The word, I don't know why. So we got an immigration crisis. Guess what? Labor. Guess who's being deported? Cheap labor. They don't even want to go outside. They don't even want to go outside. They was building your homes, making it affordable. I know, because I don't know what my guys is doing. Wasn't me, I don't know. But I'm sure my guys, I know they go drive over to Home Depot. Hey, papi, I ain't trying to be, that's just what it is. Like my one guy who handle all my stuff, he speaks fluent Spanish for that reason, because most of the guys that he used to work with were here illegally.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know what the mix is. Maybe that's just a small percentage. I don't know. But labor and materials are up. That's just across the board, period, point blank. Okay? This goes into the cost of a home. Again, this is a private credit issue. This is an oil issue. So this goes into the cost of a home. People buy homes when they feel protected. Public trust is at an all-time low. People just don't buy homes, or I don't want to say they don't do it, they're just less likely to do it. Public trust is at an all-time low. We had all these things come out at the same time, where their minds are just not thinking about investing in a home. This is more of one of the softer things. Like, we can't really quantify this. This is, again, Nicole Nicoleology, Nicole theism, right? Public trust is just at all-time low. We got the war, we got Epstein files, we got Jerome the Dolphin, and having all his friends killed. We got, we just feel very lied to. And so, like, do I want to invest in this system? This is things that's happening on a subconscious level, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring to my last one. This thing actually affects, in my opinion, 95% of home affordability, which is 95% of the economy. Public sentiment. Which brings me back to my whole point about Jerome Powell and whoever's in that position, the Fed chair. They have to say specific things to keep public sentiment at a certain level, because the economy is literally based on public sentiment. I'll give you an example. The economy, a healthy economy has flows, currency flows. People making it, they're spending it. They're making it, they're spending it. That is really what the measure of an economy is. Okay? So if you think about somebody, let's say you got $100,000. It only means something to the economy as the health of the economy if you're making the $100,000 and then you're spending 100 or 99 of it. But if you make $100,000 and your public sentiment is negative, you're going to keep your $100,000. You just won't spend it.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because when 2008 crash, I say this for any crash, when 2008 crash happened, when Lehman collapsed, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was working on Wall Street at the time. T-1, everybody was just operating. Soon as Lehman collapsed, then everything tightened up. What changed other than information? Y'all didn't have less money. Y'all didn't have less money till somewhere down the line. You didn't have less money. The very next day, our cost of doing business for the firm that I worked for, our cost of lending went through the roof, and we were AAA rated paper. Went through the roof. Because now everybody is tight. So public sentiment is 95% of it. They need to make sure that currency is currenting.
Just off the information.
Just off of information. That's all this economy is all about, is the flow of currency and the flow of wealth. The distribution, transfer, flow. That's why currency is called currency. It needs to operate on a currency. Okay? Which brings me to this point. When people have, first of all, the home buying process in America is very cumbersome. It just is. Whole industries are thriving off of the fact that the process is cumbersome. When people are in survival mode, whether they have money or not, if they are afraid because we're at war, because the stock market is down, it's volatile, I literally, this is scary. I'm not scared, but this is a scary thing. We're at war, and I saw the president bragging about the blueprints or the renderings for his new ballroom. Are you serious?
Yeah.
This puts people in survival mode. Okay? When you're in survival mode, are you thinking about going through a 5-month process of buying a home? Because guess what? Buying a home is not more secure than renting, when you could just go sign an application and move in 2 months, because your mind is so preoccupied. Not 2 months, you can move in 2 weeks, I'm sorry. You could just move in with 2 weeks because your mind is so preoccupied with all of these things, and a good chunk of it is what's going to happen to the American economy? What's going to happen to being an American? Is Iran, what is this war going to do to us? Oh my goodness, I don't like our president. Oh my goodness, I can't afford, my gas prices have gone up drastically. Am I going to jump through hoops right now where my mind is so, the scripture talks about substance, right? When we think about substance, we think about, it says that Jacob gathered all his substance and he went over to the brook and he sent everybody when he was about to go meet with Esau. Substance, it's mentioned substance multiple times. And I've really studied this word substance. Substance is not just physical things. Substance is everything that take up energetic space in your mind. And so when humans are in survival mode, that's the problem with survival mode. You can't think clearly because it's taking up so much of your energetic space in your mind. Are you going to go and buy a home during this dumb behind process that we got? Is this important to you? When I can get into, it's a smaller space, but I can get into an apartment for a fraction of the frustration.
And then you're not responsible for.
You ain't responsible. Brandon asked me, like, do you believe in buying a home? I never believed in buying a home to live in.
No, I said, do you feel as though the sentiment now is where buying a home is not a necessity or commodity anymore? And then
it never was I don't know if commodity is the word you want to use, but is it a necessity? And I'm like, I never thought it was a necessity. I thought it was a silly thing to do.
Well, when I say commodity, because that's the American thing to do.
No, I hear what you're saying, but commodity has a very specific definition. I just want to make sure that.
True. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
On a financial level, I know the commodities. Well, yeah, like I don't know, trendy thing.
This is the thing that everybody, is the thing that we all aspire to do. I never cared to own a home to live in. Now I do, because I want my son to have a forever home. But it's just also not that important to me.
All right. Well, what you saying that
personally
was a perfect segue from my question then.
Yes.
From my question to the people, right? To comment on. What value do you get from buying a home if your intent is never to sell it?
That's a good question for y'all. And there's no wrong answer for this. And so public sentiment, we have a public sentiment crisis. Public sentiment is the biggest shareholder of home affordability. How do I think I'm going to have this job? That's that's one of the biggest things. Hey, every day I go online, AI is taking more and more of my job. Do I think I'm going to have this job? I just read an article the other day where it said that a lot of these companies, big public companies, they are cracking down and doing like more stricter reviews, right? Like when you do your review for review time, they're more strict. And the reason why they do this is because that's what they do when they want to cut jobs.
Yeah.
So if my sentiment is that I don't know if I'm going to have a job in 18 months, am I going to be thinking about buying a home? When I can go and move into this apartment building over here, I know, okay, I feel like I got a job in a year. I feel like I got a job. I don't want to be.
So then that leads to say, if you're a home owner, right? If you don't own a home, but then you're already a home owner, what does that leave a person feeling like?
Listen, I ain't going. Here's the thing. People that are home owners that are already in their homes, most of them got their mortgages when rates were low. They're not going anywhere. That's also a big issue with home affordability, because now in order for people to get into homes, they're typically buying new builds. Those are more expensive. Home affordability, I'm going to go back again. All these things I said go into home affordability. This is why home affordability is the only economic indicator that you need to look at to determine where we're at in the economy. That's it, because it entails every single aspect of the economy. Everything. Oil, rates, inflation, public sentiment, your sentiment. Everything is the only thing. While everything is going crazy out there, that's the only thing you need to be watching. Not the only thing. Have fun. We're going to be talking about everything. But that's the main thing that you need to use, because we're not, as long as I don't care what any of this stuff gets fixed. As long as we have a home affordability crisis, we ain't out of the weeds. But volatility doesn't just create fear. It creates opportunity. Over the next couple years, there's a lot of money up for grabs as far as baby boomers retiring. Okay? They own businesses. They own 40% of businesses, and 10,000 boomers retire every single day. At the end of the day, there are 6 million businesses that will either need to be sold, inherited, or they're just going to just cease to exist, which is going to result in $5 trillion. $5 trillion in valuation.
That's crazy.
Up for grabs. Yes.
That's wild.
So this is a huge opportunity that I don't think that people really understand what it is. We're so caught up, and I'm intentionally not covering the war right now, because anytime you look on the media and it's one thing that's being covered over and over and over again, there is something that's just as important or slightly less important that's not being covered.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
100%.
you already know everything that's going on with the war. Oil's up, inflation's up, bing, boom, bop. But guess what? There is so much money. This wealth transfer is happening, and you need to equip yourself. So I highly recommend that you pick a industry, go find a business to buy, and I'm going to talk about how you can potentially do it with $0 out of pocket. Go find yourself some business or businesses to buy, and we're going to dive deep into it today.
Okay.
Now, before we get into that, now let's talk about the talents, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page spiritually as we do this. So what were you going to say about the talents? This is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I was just going to basically say the core principles of it is just, like I said, is just teaching you the aspect of investing. Because I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people of the Christian faith and Christian walk, they look at money as something that is potentially just like evil. Because in the Bible says you cannot serve two gods. You cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon is money. So, you know, so they look at it in a sense of like, oh, like I got to pick one or the other. But God doesn't necessarily say pick one or the other. He says don't put one over me though. So
Hold your horses. Hold on. No. I think people miss out on, oh, we didn't talk about this. I like this. I think people miss out on the purpose of that. You cannot serve two gods. You went too deep. You missed the surface lesson. Money shouldn't be your God. It serves you. You don't serve it. So it's not even about whether it's evil or not. That has nothing to do with anything. Right? You don't serve money. You serve God. Your money serves you.
right.
Okay? We don't even got to go deeper than that. Some people do serve money. That's cool. But just know just know that if you serve money, you're not going to be serving God.
If you serving money, you like the last man in the parable who put his money in the ground and hid it. Because the rest of them
You think that's what that's like?
Yeah, the rest of them knew to go here and plant and invest, because we called to be sowers and give here and give here. And when he came back, he said, here, you did this. I have more for you. But the one he said, what he say? I can't quote it verbatim, but he said, that I did not sow where I did not harvest, or something like that, because in the aspect of he was so afraid of that money. He served it so much that it had to be so protected. And so
I'm not mad at that, but I'm gonna tell you how I perceive it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know the story, Jesus gave a parable about the sower. He said there was a master. He had 3 servants. He knew he was going on a long trip, so he gave his servants money and came back home. His first servant, he gave 10 talents to. When he came back home, he doubled his money. He went out and invested the money. He doubled his money. The second servant, he gave 5 talents to. He went out and invested it. He doubled his money. And he took, y'all did a good job. Then the other one, he gave 1 talent to. And he did not invest his money. He hid his money. He buried it. And he said, I knew how harsh you are, so I was afraid that I was going to lose it. The way that I interpret that is so many levels to it. It's not that he worshiped the money. It's that he didn't know God enough. God, and this is really good for you guys as investing, especially for those of you who are more cautious with your money and you're scared to invest your money. You are scared of some sort of punishment if you mess up. And if you know God, you will know that God does not hate you if you make a mistake. And so this guy, I believe, that God was mad at him because one, you don't know me well enough. What makes you what about my personality makes you think that I'm gonna be mad at you if you make a mistake? And I think we do that a lot as it pertains to God. Like, oh my God, I don't want to go to the left. You talked about something before we got on about like, hey, this is something that I've dealt with, and I said to you, I want you to remember that you gotta stay vigilant about that thing, but don't beat yourself up about dealing with that thing, because God knows you're human. Okay? So first of all, the fact that you thought, hey, I can't go invest this because God's going to be mad at me if I mess up. What do you mean? At that point in the Bible is 75% of the way done. You got the whole entire Old Testament to get to know him and know that he don't get mad at you when you make a mistake. And I always give you a way to get it back together. That's the first thing that I took. The second thing is God gives us all, so you call it talents, but also talents. I'm giving you gifts. And we were also talking about this too, about like having confidence in our capabilities. God didn't give you these capabilities so you can just walk around and just, I have capabilities. Look at me on Instagram. Here's my booty cheek. Here's my Rolex. We go talk about the Rolex again. Here's my Rolex, right? God didn't give you those talents and those gifts for you to flash them. He gave them to you so you can use them in the kingdom. They are meant to be used.
That go back to what you said in last episode, the bar. I don't know if the people really caught the bar that you said, but I've been saying the bar to people. And you said, God doesn't fuel your passions. Or you said God doesn't fund your passions.
He funds your purpose.
He funds your purpose.
Right.
And so
God is an investing God. That's like me giving money to invest in a business. We talking about this is like you giving money to invest in a business and then the business does nothing with it. What do you mean? That's not why I made you smart. That's not why I made you capable. That's not why I put you in this position to have the desire to build generational wealth for your family, to have ambition. I didn't give you that ambition so you can go out and dangle it in front of chicks. I didn't give you. I'm gonna bring up another story. We didn't even get to this part yet. Let me bring up another story from the Bible. One of my favorite stories. I always get teary-eyed when I tell this story because this story relates to me so very much. Okay. So first of all, as I'm about to tell you all this story, I'm gonna give you all my age. I'm 42 years old. Okay. So you need to know that. All right. So, because y'all need to understand that I'm very much so mature than what I'm about to reveal.
Okay.
Very mature.
Check the hands.
Okay. So look, right. One of my favorite stories is about the woman by the well. Right? Woman by the well. The disciples went to go get food. Jesus insisted on staying back by this well near Samaria with this woman, or the Samaritans, right? Samaria, okay. This woman who is at the well during the time is not usually the time that women are at the well, okay? So he has this encounter with her, and he asks her, hey, get me some water. And she's like, what do you mean? You're a rabbi. Y'all don't mess with us Samaritans.
Right.
Like, why are you even here? And he's like, how about this? How about I don't even need your water. I got water that make you not want to hunger or thirst ever again.
Yeah, thirst ever again.
So she's like, what are you talking about? So then he just starts spitting off facts about her life. Like, listen, how about you've been married 5 times and the men that you married, the man that you married, that you with now, that ain't even your husband. She's like, what are you talking about? Okay. So as a result, she ends up going back into the village. And the scripture is very specific. It says that she told men about this man. That she met Jesus. Now, if you think about the story, you got to kind of like do a little bit of digesting a little bit. All the way back then, this woman been married 5 times and she got some dude shacking up with her right now. What does this say about this woman? This says that she has a way with men. Men listen to her. And you could say all you want to on a illicit or inappropriate way about this woman, but That has nothing to do with people don't marry women just for those lustful reasons, okay? This woman knows how to talk to men. She's been using her gift this whole time in the wrong way. That's the whole point of reason why I'm telling this story. Some of you have gifts and you're using them in the wrong way, okay? We're going to pretend y'all here because we're talking about investing. You're here to use these gifts that you have, that you are effective in the workplace, you are effective amongst certain people, you are effective with children. You're not using them in a way to build up the kingdom. She had a way with men. She wasn't using them in that way. Then Jesus came. And now this is why I gave you that gift, to be able to know how to talk to men, because I know when you go and tell people, they're going to listen to you.
Right.
Regardless of whether I tell you to tell them or not. I know you.
And she went and told everybody after that.
She went and told everybody. Okay, cool. Some of you are using your gifts wrong. And so we need to reappropriate how you use your gifts. And we need to talk about how you can buy these businesses. Okay. All right. The silver tsunami is upon us. The silver tsunami is with this baby boomer transition of assets into the next transition is called. The silver tsunami is upon us, and $5 trillion is being transferred. What are we going to do? How are we going to approach it? I'm going to give you a 5-step approach into analyzing these businesses, and then we're going to talk about some other areas that you need to be looking at in terms of analyzing these businesses. We're going to do a brief overview of how to run these types of businesses, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to finance these transactions. Of the 5 things that we're going to look at to identify businesses, the first one is going to be the industry. This is why we talk so much about macro on this channel, because this is the area that people are going to mess up at. Most people are going to find industries by looking over industry by industry. And that's an awful way of looking for businesses. Like, you just go industry by industry. You see people, oh, this person is doing this. Let me look into that. This person is doing this. Let me look into that. Awful. It's almost like, think about if you're dating, right? And you say, you know what? I'm just going to go out and date every woman that approaches me. I'm just going to date every woman that approaches me. That's not a strategic way of doing it. Strategic way of doing it is saying, hey, I want this type of woman. Where does this type of woman go? I need to do the things that this type of woman does. I need to be at those places and become the man that attracts this type of woman. And so that's what we're going to do. That's why we look at macro, so that we can narrow down. It's more important to know what not to invest in, to know what to invest in. And so as we have been looking at volatility, we've been looking at AI, we've been looking at real estate. Now we can see things from a top-down perspective. Now we can start identifying the industries that are going to be very attractive to us. So I've already given everybody a bunch of industries that the data says that these are going to be the good industries. First one, apartment buildings. Specifically Invictus Elite Fund, okay? If you want to invest with us, we have a $15 million fund. We give a 20% IRR, 2.5x equity multiple, 5 to 7 year hold term. The information down below if you are interested, if you're an accredited investor and you are interested, okay? There are also ways that you can invest without being an accredited investor. I probably will talk about it on another episode. I was considering talking about it today, but we're going to talk about that another time. Okay, apartment buildings, whether you invest with us or not, apartment buildings, I feel like I've given you good case for why apartment buildings are the wave, right? They're going to outperform in the next couple of years.
Right.
Okay. The next thing we talked about is I gave you the idea of niching down with debt funds for micro businesses on a local level. Okay, you got to really know your stuff to be able to do this, but that is an opportunity. The next one is investing in skills businesses, trades businesses, I should say.
The picks and shovels too.
And then we talked
Yeah.
about the picks and shovels.
The
The picks and shovels of what's happening right now.
Right.
Right? So like I was looking, they were saying it like AI data centers, not AI.
The data centers.
The data centers. Okay? The picks and shovels. AI is going to be here. The industry could potentially collapse, doesn't matter, but it's going to be here. What are the picks and shovels of it?
And that made me think about something that I listened to, an interview that I heard a CEO speaking on. And he was like, there's one thing that is common among the wealthy and CEOs and things like that. And he was like, it's not that they're the most smartest. He was like, they're just good at solving problems.
Good at solving problems. That's the number one thing. So actually, when I gave you that example earlier about the dresses and all of that. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about solving problems with the industry. I want to talk about that in number 2. We'll get to number 2 in just a minute. But identifying the industry. So you got your skills. Today I want to really, really focus on the trades businesses because those are the ones that the baby boomers are mostly transferring. The trades businesses. Your HVAC businesses, your plumbing businesses. It's a bunch of different types of trades businesses, but also too, like you got small storage as well, medical facilities, dentist businesses, right? Private equity is buying dentist businesses. Crazy, okay? So identify an industry that you think, remember I talked about, you got to make a prediction about what you think that the world is going to go in. Okay? I can tell you what I hypothesize, but you got to make this decision. This ain't investment advice. Okay? All right. So this money is transferring. You've identified an industry. The next thing, this is where I shine, which is business model. You want to find businesses in your industry that have a solid business model. What do I mean by that? Any normal business can offer a service, can sell a product. Any normal business can do that. But the problem with just putting up your sign and say, hey, I sell this service, I sell this product, is that you leave yourself open for competition. Competition is the worst thing for business. It's the worst thing for business because it's also almost probably the most unnecessary thing in business. There is, in this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, the number 1 law is to be the first in any category. The number 2 law is if you can't be the first, create a new category and be the first in that. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Now, to go even more in depth, we have a newsletter where I break down structurally interesting things that really move the market. I give you my frameworks for how I think specifically about business, because you need to understand business to understand this stuff. Also, too, y'all know I have partners for our private equity fund, and they contribute to the newsletter too. They know their stuff with apartment investing. Noelle Parnell and Arthur Lyons. Get on the newsletter. The link will be down below. It is 100% free. In this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, the number 1 law is to be the first in any category. The number 2 law is if you can't be the first, create a new category and be the first in that. Okay? So what do I mean by that? If you are an HVAC business and you see in this particular area there are 13 HVAC businesses, now you got to say, okay, you know what? In this zip code, 19139, in this particular zip code, I'm going to be an HVAC business, but I'm going to be the best and the cheapest. I'm going to be known for being the cheapest and the best. So here's a framework that I want you to remember. There are 3 ways that you can differentiate yourself. It's either being the best, the quality, the fastest, or the cheapest. You can be 2. You cannot be all 3. Pick 2. 1, boring. Pick 2. The highest quality, we're the fastest. the highest quality, we're the cheapest. Or you solve some other unique problem.
Right.
Like, hey, we're HVAC, but we also give quotes, or we can give you a I'm just making up other solved problems that need to be solved. Like, we're HVAC, but we can,
Finding another alternative.
or let me go down this road just a little bit. So, like, let's say for instance, I need a new HVAC system in my house.
Right.
Okay. Chances are, if you need a new HVAC system, I might need to go into the walls. What if I had a service where I already swatched off your paint and found the exact paint color and got it matched to your, and I'm not saying you might not, might not be something that you make a whole bunch of money at, but you're solving a problem. Hey, we do HVAC, but also we leave your house still looking pretty, right? You don't have to worry about all the holes and all that stuff that's going to come about. Solve a new problem. This is the business model portion of it. So there are infinite ways that you can think about new problems to solve, but think about it in terms of solving a problem. But the real opportunity in moments like this is not more information, it's emotional discipline. So we're at war, and people naturally think war is bad, and they just extrapolate in their minds how that affects them. Not considering war in any type of traumatic situation, what do people tend to do? Right? This is why it's really important. What I'm about to say is really important. So if you understand human nature, then you understand the markets.
Right.
When traumatic things happen, people tend to do one of two things: fight or flight.
Right.
But there is a third. The third one is freeze. I added the third one. I don't even know if that's something that people say. I added the third one based on my experience, because when I have traumatic events, I don't do either fight or flight. I tend to freeze. And I noticed that most people do that as well. Okay, so we're at war. You shouldn't be thinking, oh, this stock is going to immediately go up. These are people are going to have more sales. Don't be thinking that. The most important thing is, know that though 99% of people in the world are going to act in fight, flight, or freeze, with the exception of you, because you're here. We are going to move to a higher level of consciousness. If we feel fight or flight or freeze, we are going to experience it in our bodies, but also remove ourselves and try to figure out what it is. But okay, fight, flight, or freeze are the three forces that will cause the normal standard things to happen during war.
Right.
There is a cycle when you look at all of the wars. First, within the first 30 days or so,
Right.
stocks will drop between 5 and 10%.
Okay.
Then after about a month, they will level off. Then after a year later, you will see that there is a return anywhere from 8 to, I've seen as high as 18%.
Right.
Right? So in that year, if you want to take advantage of the short term, know that this is what the cycle is going to be, and just rock out.
So would you say when people are selling off, that's them immediately start in the first stage? Is that what you're saying? Or?
It's not necessarily, I wouldn't just say as a sell-off. Just know that people are fight, flight, or freeze. So then you can say, yes, there is a sell-off, right? Or a transition from stocks, things that are more
I guess what I'm asking
sector
is that,
specific. Let me finish.
Okay.
There's going to be a sell-off in the stock market to move to things that people naturally think is going to be the war go-tos, like gold, defense stocks, all of the war stocks. This is fight, flight, or freeze. So it's like, oh my goodness, fight. Oh, the market's going to do terrible. Let me get out. Let me get over here. Okay, flight. Oh, snap. I want to get out of everything. Put everything under the mattress.
Okay.
Or freeze. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to take this beating. It's inevitable. That's what they're going to do. Okay, go ahead with your next question.
No, you answered it just then. Because I was saying, or are you saying, when they, essentially, if everybody's like, oh, I got to get out of here, that's fight. And then flight would be, what, maybe try to find some different alternative than what you just fought from. Maybe.
Right.
Then when you freezing, you just absolutely
Just do nothing.
Nothing at all. You
Nothing
just
at all.
nowhere.
Right. And so I know that I'm a natural freezer. I'm a natural freezer because my initial instinct is to be like, I can't predict this. Whatever.
Yeah.
And just do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we know that that's our natural instinct, but we can operate outside of our natural instinct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the key is to become aware and say, okay, since I know this and no one else is going to, 99% of people are not going to be aware, let me take advantage. If you're a short-term guy, a person that likes to day trade, do the markets, keep in mind, everybody's going to be fearful right now and move accordingly. I'm not a short-term public markets type of human being. So I'm always going to be thinking macro, long-term,
Right.
private markets.
Right.
Okay. But in the short term, you're always going to have huge surges in defense stocks. We already know that oil is going to be going up, is up.
I went to go get gas this morning. It was up 60 cents.
Gas
Normally
was
it's
up
like 359. It was like 430 or 425 today.
That is, and that's my whole point. Know that everyone's going to be reacting emotionally. It's no way that war could affect the supply of
fast.
oil that fast.
Right.
That doesn't even make sense. That's so weird. Humans are so weird in that way. That's so strange. It's irrational. Okay? All right. So if we know that humans are going to do that, just keep that in mind. You day traders, pay attention. Keep your eye on them charts. Don't get up. Don't go poop. Don't go do nothing. Pay attention. It's jumping. Me, on the other hand, y'all have at it. Because the real play, when you understand human nature, you can better predict long term. And I'm gonna tell you why people go to fight, flight, or freeze. People go to fight, flight, or freeze because they think that war or these events are unusual. Because it's not normal for you right now, you go fight, flight, or freeze. Like it's not, your immediate have no context. But this is why I like to study history and I like to read the scriptures. Humans are always at war. This is why when we had the conversation, we'll get to that part where you was just like freaking out, like, I think everything is going to go crazy. And I was like, I want to wait to get to say to you, this is not unusual. Humans are always at war. These event-driven experiences do create opportunity so that if you do feel like it is your calling to be a freedom fighter, you can use this because they are so predictable. You can use this as an opportunity to position yourself to be a freedom fighter.
Right.
Now, again, are we trying to make money from war? Are we like, hey, let's go to war so we can make money? No, they are just natural things that happen in human history. And this is why so much of the Bible and history is about war, because we have so much data to predict how things are going to go. When things are peaceful, you don't know what's going to happen. Especially right now, we've been talking about volatility, but like war introduces volatility, but volatility that can be predicted. It seems volatile to the naked eye, but we're going to talk about the stages. Okay? So, like I mentioned, the first stage, stocks will drop. After about a month, it'll level off.
Right.
And then over the next year, it'll be a slow climb. Outside of that time frame, whatever this is that we're in will start to be normal, and people will do commerce as business around whatever our new normal is. This is when you kick in for real, for real. You can make money on them short-term swings for sure. But this is where you kick in for real. This is where the wealth is built. But specifically with this war, since we're in the war with Iran, we already know that that's going to affect oil prices on the short term and the long term. So we know that the instability over there is going to affect things. Oil may be elevated for a little while, because the whole point is that the U.S. can control over there and control the oil. But at least for a little while. So if oil is going to be elevated and you're going to have to decide and look at what's happening in the world to see how long it's going to be elevated. If oil is elevated, elevated prices of oil always lead to higher inflation. Always. Because energy is a huge component of our CPI. Okay? Because it affects so many things, not just energy itself. Higher inflation means higher interest rates. So right now, you already know we've been fighting the good fight for affordability. Because I want you to think about affordability like this. Don't think about affordability in the price of a home. Think about affordability in a mortgage payment, because that is how Americans see things. Paychecks. So if my mortgage payment is, or I can afford $2,000 in mortgage, it doesn't matter what the mix is between interest and principal. That interest was a great way that we were trying to attack affordability, that interest component. If we can get rates come down, then the interest component can come down and thus your mortgage can come down.
Right.
But we haven't been able to get rates to come down. They've been sub 6% for maybe a couple weeks or a week or something like that. Great. That's cute. But if oil goes up and inflation goes up, they're not going to want to cut interest rates further. I don't care who, if a hawk is the Fed chair or Dove is the Fed chair, doesn't matter. Hey, we cannot have sustained, or they're going to try to fight inflation. It's always going to be number one, no matter what.
Right.
Okay, so here we are back facing high interest rates again. So we have not been able to get these interest rates to come down. What's the other component of your mortgage payment? The principal. The principal is dictated by the price of the home. Okay. So that means we gotta get home prices down. We at war, interest rates gonna be high, at least in the medium term.
Yeah.
Home prices, we've been fighting it. Even our boy DT got on there and said, listen, I don't want home prices to come down because that is the biggest store of American wealth is in their homes, of American families in your home. So if you're walking around here knowing like, dang, I got $1 million worth of equity in my home, and let's bring it down. I got $200,000 worth of equity in my home, so therefore I have a net worth of $200,000.
Right.
Maybe 200 plus the 100 in your 401k.
Right.
If home prices come down, that affects your equity.
Right.
Your equity then went from $200,000 down to 100. I'm just making numbers up. Down to 100. Your net worth has come down. Okay? So this is why we didn't want prices to come down, but prices, there is no, I feel like all these happenings in the world was all for us to avoid prices come down. Because guess what? We do not forget, during COVID, home prices went up 40%. The average price of a home went up 40%.
Crazy.
We are due for a correction. And in the stock market, when a stock goes up and then we wait for the price to come down, that's called a correction. When the same thing happens in real estate, it's not called a correction. They'll call it a correction. But when it happens, guess what it's called?
I don't know, because you about to enlighten me right now.
I'm not. We have this. It's called a bubble bursting.
Okay. We had this conversation.
We did. It's called a bubble bursting. We just had a bubble burst in 2008. Everybody was it affected everybody emotionally to the point where we have done all of these things to avoid it. We're so afraid of it. Guess what? It's inevitable. It happens. This is the version of, hey, inflation's up, home prices got to come down, all these things. The government's version of their reaction to it is fight, flight, or freeze. And they fought.
Yeah.
And fought.
Yeah.
And fought. and fought and fought and fought. All the way to the point, here we are back again. Now we back to home prices coming back down and the bubble bursting because we are so afraid of what happened in 2008.
The 2008 recession.
Yes. It was just yesterday. And it's like, we're so afraid of it happening because also it's like, dang, we didn't learn our lesson.
It lasted 18 months. Started in December, ended in like June 2009.
Okay. So here we are. Now we're moving into the meat and potatoes of what the Iran war means for real estate. You need to understand that this is what happens and you need to regulate your nervous system in it. Because it is just what humans do.
Yeah.
Humans go to war and that cannot shake your core.
Yeah. That's a bar, what you said, though. God don't have to get behind your passion.
But your purpose is his purpose. You get behind the purpose. You get in his plan.
Bar.
Okay? So that's how I want you to take all this stuff and then run it through one of those frameworks. I don't care.
That's how you can control that nervous system at that point with that framework.
Because you're just like, all this stuff don't matter.
Right.
I'm on a mission.
Right.
All the fires is going on. You just walking. That's why David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Through the valley of the shadow of death.
Wake them up.
Think about what that means. Not death. I'm in the shadow of it. It's not bothering. It's not really affecting me. Okay? I fear no evil. Okay, let's get back to business. Some of the other things that you need to be thinking about in war, gold is always a safe haven. The one that has not been tested yet is Bitcoin.
Right.
So you got to be thinking about that as well. There's always going to be layoff risk in some of the more trendy sectors. Tech. AI is tech. There's going to be layoff risk in things that are not like commodities, in areas that's not like things that are human need. And expect, if you have a traditional business, I don't know how to define traditional business, but like a business that doesn't necessarily make money off the picks and shovels of all of this, just expect slower sales. You just want to build up your cash reserves. Start being really, really conservative right now.
Yeah.
Right, like if let's say this war becomes like a whole big thing and like y'all really, really love this episode. I feel like this page is a pick and shovel. You already know how I feel about our private equity fund. Our fund is a pick and shovel, but I'm going to stick in this lane for this YouTube page. This is a pick and shovel in a sense that while we're at war and while this stuff is going on, y'all always going to want to get commentary on it. It's a pick and shovel. I got some other stuff that's coming on this channel too that I cannot wait to bring to y'all. Just giving y'all picks and shovels. So if you have a business that you know isn't, you got to be honest. And it's okay to have a business that's not picks and shovels. You've been in the business for a long time. You didn't know this was going to happen. You just got to get conservative right now. And if you don't have slower sales, great. What a surprise. Cherry on top.
So in the midst of what's going on, in the midst of the times, the 3 F's, the fight, flight, or freeze.
Two things about the free F's. One, be mindful of where you're at specifically right now as of recording this on March 2nd, right? Be mindful of where you're at. Rise above it. But also remember that 99% of people they're not even going to be conscious of their fight, flight, or freeze. They're just going to react. And they're not going to be most of them aren't going to be able to step outside of it. So you have an advantage because you can predict what everybody else is going to do.
So my question is, what is Nicole Purvey going to do to prepare for what's to come?
The same thing I've been telling you guys, the real play is apartment investing. This is why we have a fund where we are investing in apartment buildings, and you are welcome to join with us. Okay, we are only taking accredited investors, but we invest in apartment buildings in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, and assisted living facilities in the Northeast region, where we are adding mental wellness amenities. It is a fund like no other, because this is just going to be the way. People can't afford it. Home prices are going to come down, and also people are going to be moving into apartment buildings, and there will be a new class, well, not necessarily a new class, there'll be a growing class of people who want more quality amenities. If you want to invest in apartment buildings and take advantage of it, come get with us. Our fund is paying 20% IRR, 2.5x equity multiple, 5 to 7 year hold term, and it's really the writing's on the wall, y'all.
Picks and shovels.
Picks and shovels. Picks and shovels. Because people, one thing is people got to live somewhere. They need a house until they figure out how to take your body out and put it into a jar when it's time to go to sleep.
Carolina Brown.
Oh, did you send that to me?
Yeah.
He just be all scatterbrained. So they figure out how to take your body out and put it into a host. You gotta have a place to live. People gotta have a place to live. And where you think they're gonna live? Apartment buildings. I hope you know that that's the answer. So if you are interested, DM me on Instagram. I am Nicole Purvey on Instagram. Follow me over there. I'll be having fun too. And yeah. Right. There are things. There are other options. Put my picture of my baby up.
I feel like I'm turning into one of these
Conspiracy theorists?
guys,
Yeah,
man.
everybody
We
is.
don't have that much time. That's what I want to be.
Well, part of it, the problem is I influence your algorithm.
I don't have this much time anymore.
I influence because I'll be sending some crazy conspiracy theories. And now my algorithm, at one point it was at a sweet spot. It is out of control right now. The algorithm be testing me because it be sending me like borderline racist stuff now. And I'm like, bro, chill. Chill. Why? I be wanting to be like,
That's a whole nother
why would you send me this? And not racist in the way, racist on both ends. Like, you think I'm going to comment on these people talking about black people? I ain't getting ate up in these comments. You're not roping me in. I'll get my notifications coming forever. Go back to Africa, you monkey.
Don't send me those, okay? Don't send me those.
I just look. I'll be when my algorithm get it. I'll be like this.
Did you say go back to
That's what they'll say to me. No, that's the type of post I'll be getting.
Okay.
When I get it, I'll be like this. Because I'll be curious, like, but I'll be like, do not interact, do no engagement, because I don't want the algorithm to think I like it.
Yeah.
I'll be like
It's coming
tiptoeing
from
like.
somewhere, though. Somebody
It's testing me to see if like, you kind of seem like a Republican, but then you seem like a Democrat. Then you seem like far right. Then you seem like far left. Which one are you? We need to. No, I told you I'll be tiptoeing.
Don't do it.
I'll be tiptoeing.